Well, good morning and welcome to my YouTube channel. So this morning, I'll just turn around so you can see where I am. I'm up at the foot of Schiehallion Mountain, and there's a small loch in this area called Loch Overflow. It's quite misty in some areas. I was hoping to get a sunrise, but to be fair, there's no clouds in the sky. So what we'll do is I'll focus around the trees in the loch. So follow me this morning and let's see where this journey takes us. Alright, so as I'm walking along the road towards the dam, I can't help myself, but I've seen this. There's a really nice composition here where I've got the water. There's some water at the side of the reeds here, and I've got a tree in the distance, but there's just a kind of mild lifting of the mist behind it. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to take advantage of the lowish light. I've got no filters and I'm using 125th of a second f2.8 because it's quite dark still in ISO 100. So that could turn out to be quite a nice shot. So I'll keep moving because I need to get to the loch. Right, so I've stopped again because there's a really nice reflection of Schiehallion Mountain on the loch in here, and it's so still. There's still a bit of mist, so I've set my aperture to f8. I've still got ISO 100 and I'm at 25th of a second. My exposure meter's saying I'm a wee bit overexposed, so let me take that shot and I'll just adjust my settings again. I'll take another shot. It's absolutely beautiful. The sun won't come up here probably for another half hour, and then it'll hit the loch. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to take shots before the sun comes up, because the previous visits that I've done in mornings, I've always been facing the sun. And the challenge with facing the sun is you get a lot of lens flare. So what I'm trying to do this morning is get the atmosphere with the mist as much as I possibly can, and then when the sun comes up we'll see what difference that actually makes to the landscape. But at the moment I'm going to walk my way down, I'm going to get to the edge of the loch, and then I'm going to shoot back up the loch, and hopefully there'll still be a lot of mist around. There's certainly a lot of mist behind me down at Dunalister Water, that's for sure. Alright, so I've walked past the loch, and because what I wanted to share with you was this amazing inversion under the mountains. And this is mist that's sitting above Loch Rannoch and Dunalister Water. It's absolutely beautiful. So there's a spot, there's a ridge over here on the far right. So I might move over to that because that overlooks the trees where Outlander was filmed for Craignadoe, where the standing stones are normally placed. So let's see if I can get over there. It looks pretty marshy, but I'll give it a try and let's see if we can get some images. Alright, so I keep getting distracted. I will get to the loch, or the loch-in soon, but I've got myself in a position here where I've never seen this before. It's absolutely spectacular. All the inversion in the mist flowing down the valley, we can see the tops of the mountains, and then the real jewel in the crown here is I'm going to zoom in, because what I want to get is Craignadoe on the far right, because if I take that shot, so here's what I'm trying to get. I'm zoomed in to Craignadoe, where Outlander film set is filmed, with the big standing stones that they use as a gateway to go back in time. And it's not a fantastic view up here, but you can just make out the cluster of trees from here at the top of the ridge. But on my far left, there's quite an amazing glow on the mountains. So as the mist's dissipating on the left hand side, and I've got a full banking of mist as part of that massive inversion in front of me, beautiful blue sky above, we've got all the dark heathers here, and it's absolutely glorious, and it actually would make a really nice panoramic shot as well. So what I might do is a panoramic shot, and what I'll then do is I'll stitch that together and then I'll share those images with you. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so the mountain behind me is Schiehallion. So I'm going to take a photograph of Schiehallion because the light is beautiful with the sun hitting it, but I've also got this dark contrast at the bottom. So I've got all the dark heathers in my foreground with a beautifully lit Schiehallion in the background. And I was walking, as I was walking on top of this little hill, when I looked back, the loch that I'm actually here to photograph looks quite nice for a distance. So I might switch lenses and put the longer lens on, and we'll take a shot back at the loch. So what I'll do is I'll switch the camera around, I'll take some panoramics, I'll take shots of Schiehallion, and then I'll share those images with you. Alright, so this is the real reason I'm here. The real reason I'm here is to shoot Loch Dam. But the problem, well, I haven't got a problem actually, I've got tons of opportunities this morning because I've got the mega inversion at the back of me, where hopefully those images have come out and you've got to see what I've been taking photographs of. But equally here in the loch, I've got reflections of the mountains and the water. So what I'm going to do is I've kept the long lens on and I'll focus in on the loch because I'd like to try and get the reflections in the water. So let me just see what I can do here. So there's a small, in front of Loch Dam, there's like a concrete dam. And then at the left hand side of the concrete dam, there's an outlet, so the water is allowed to flow out of the dam. So what I'm trying to do is get an image. I'm not using filters yet because, to be honest, I don't really need the filters just now. It won't be until I get closer to the water where I want to get that reflection. I'm far enough away that I can get the reflections now. So if I take that shot, I'm just double checking I've actually got the mist and the reflections in the water, and I do, I will get to the dam, because as I can see the sun is slowly creeping up, so the sun's kissing the top of the trees here on the right hand side, so it won't be long before the sun's up and actually hits the water. So I'm going to work my way down, we'll get closer to the dam, and the images I've taken here, I'll share them with you now. Right, so I'm getting closer and closer. This is probably the last shot I'm going to get of the tree with the long lens, because as we walk toward the dam face, I'll be far too close to use the long lens, so I need to switch lenses back. But what I'm getting is I'm getting some beautiful light at the back, and the sun, it'll only be 5 minutes before it's up over that hill on our left hand side now. So I'm focusing in on the water outlet, the little waterfall that's coming through the dam. I've got the tree on the left hand side and I've got that beautiful light behind the loch. Absolutely stunning. And just in case you're wondering why have I got a coat on, I left the house this morning at 5 thinking, do you know, I'll just put my coat in just in case. And when I got here it's 5 degrees, it's absolutely freezing, but I never brought my gloves, so, but I can keep my hands warm as I go along. But yeah, it's absolutely freezing here this morning, and not even winter yet. Right, so we're here, the sun's beat us. However, what I'm trying to do here is get a shot of the reeds. So if I just turn my polarizer around and then lower my filter here, I just change the polarizer settings again. I'm rushing myself because I think there's far too many shots in front of me. The mist is hitting off these reeds on that side, the sun is hitting on the tree on the left. I've got these reeds in the foreground, I've got the reeds in the background, I've got the mountain. It's just beautiful. So I'll just take my time, I'll look for the compositions that I'm after. I want to get the tree in the top right and I want to get the reeds in the bottom. So I'll focus in on the tree. I've got F11, so the reeds are in focus anyway. So now what I'll do is I've got that shot, I've put an ND grad on just to keep the glare out the sky. And I'm going to zoom in now and I'm going to try and get a closer shot of the reeds. Now there's some reeds on the right hand side here that are pointing in that direction. So I'm going to use those reeds as a leading line. So from bottom right to top left, and I'll get the reeds in front of me in focus, and I've got the mist in the background. I'm just double checking they are in focus, they absolutely are. I've got the mist in the background, and I've got the high bank reeds at the top of the image, and I can just see the mist, and that's really, really nice. So what I'll do now is I'm just going to move further left and see if I can get shots of the reeds right in front of me. Alright, so I've got a beautiful view in front of me. This mist, I mean, it's going to dry off quite quickly, but I've got some amazing shots of the reeds right in front of me with the mountain in the background. I'm sorry, but I can't help myself here. This is honestly spectacular. Right, so I'm going to zoom in further now, and what I want to do is get the reeds in the foreground with the tree in the background. Oh wow, and the colour of the mist, it's unbelievable. So I'm going to take a shot of the tree up on the left. I'm going to get a shot of the reed further down here. Oh wow, this is absolutely stunning. Absolutely stunning. Right, if I get a wider angle shot now, and what I'll do is I'll level this up. I've got the dam wall in front of me, but I can crop the bottom of the dam wall out, and the reason I'm not going too close is as soon as I go forward and the sun hits my lens, I'll get lens flare. So I'm trying to avoid as much lens flare as I possibly can. I'm just tilting my filter round. I'll take that shot again. Oh, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Right, so there's a nice shot here on my right hand side of the reeds, but it could be quite a nice portrait shot. So what I'll do is I'll just turn the camera around. Fantastic. Right, so there's another shot that I've just spotted, which is trees on the far right. They're a lot smaller than the trees on the right hand side. Oh wow. Right, so I've got a couple of choices here. I can either do a focus stack, or I'll do a focus stack because that'll do the image justice. So if I put my hand in front of the camera and if I focus in on the reeds immediately in front of me, and then I'll focus halfway into the image, then I'll focus in on and then what I'll do is I'll focus in at the very back of the image. I'll put my hand in front of the lens, and then that way I know my photo stack's finished. And I don't know if I can do this, but there's a beautiful starburst with the mist coming through this tree in front of me. I'm just going to zoom out. Oh my goodness. Oh wow, this is stunning. Absolutely stunning. Right, oh wow. Right, I'm just trying to see where the nicest composition is. Oh, this is incredible. Right, oh, this is stunning. Oh, wow. This is just one of those mornings where, as I was driving up, I seen so many beautiful scenes, I seen the blue hour before sunrise and I seen the real strong orange in the horizon, and I kept thinking, oh, I'll just stop and take photos. And I thought, no, keep going, and thank goodness I did, because this is spectacular, absolutely gorgeous. Right, I've now got a sunspot right in the centre of that, which is nice, but it's not really what I want. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to zoom in a lot further towards those two trees on the bank and at the side there. I'm just going to level up my camera. I'll take the shot. So what I'm trying to do just now is I'm trying to take as many shots as I possibly can while the sun's rising and I've got the mist on the loch, because it won't be long before the sun dries up all the mist and it disappears. But if I wait long enough, I'm going to get quite a nice shot, because the sun's going to start bouncing on the top of the water here at the water outlet for those waterfalls. And that could be really nice. Wow, I'm absolutely loving this. This is amazing. Right, so what I'll do now is I'm just going to move round and see if I can get different compositions from the water, and then see what happens when I focus this direction. I have a wee cracker here. So what I've had to do is, my foreground's really dark, and I've got the concrete dam base in front of me. I've got the small waterfall, but then I have the extreme of all the light in the background. So the way I've approached this image is, I've set up my image where I've brought up the foreground. So I've got a 1/6 of a second, which means I've really slowed down my shutter speed. I've got f11 ISO 100. I've got a 0.6 grad filter, which is helping me dark and dull down the background. I'll take that shot, and that's a really nice image. So I'm just going to lift the filter up and bring it down a bit. Right, so I'm just turning around to see if there are other compositions. I like this. So I'm going to put the water a bit on the left-hand side, so I'm shooting towards that small cluster of trees in front of me. I've got the reed bank in the background. I'll take the shot, my exposure's bang on, and I've got a nice soft flow of water coming over the dam face here, and it's absolutely stunning. So what I'll do is I'll move forward. I'm conscious of the water noise. I'll move forward and I'll take close-up shots of the reeds, and then, because the mist is sitting on the loch in the middle of the image here, it's a wee bit deeper here. Right, so because I'm so close, this is going to have to be a focus stack. So what I'll do is I'll take a shot of the reed immediately in front of me, and there I should have my two images, and I can use that as a focus stack. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to zoom in a little bit further, and I'm just going to focus in on the reed, because I've got a nice stream of the water coming down, and there's some nice patterns coming from the water as well. So the other thing is, those little trees on the far left are getting split up really nicely. So if I move forward, what I'll try and do is get a shot from this side and try and make sure I don't get any lens flare. Lower this leg and this leg, and oh wow, right, I have a nice image. I have a cracking image. Right, so I just speed up my shutter, because what I want to get is a real atmosphere and mood in my shot, so my shot is going to be a bit darker. So I'm focused in on the reeds in front of me, and that's giving me the soft mist in the background. I can just think that a wee bit further, because I get some highlight clipping on the horizon there. Now what I'll do is I'll focus in on the trees in the background. Oh wow, this is absolutely glorious. But wait and see, what I might do is walk further up and see if we can get a view of the loch from the other side, and let's see where that takes us. Alright, as I went to pick up my bag and walk round to take photographs on the left bank and over, the mist and the haars come straight in and it's completely engulfed the scene. So on one hand it's kind of spoiled the image I was going for, but equally I've now got this amazing diffused view in front of me where I've got the tree completely misted out, I've got the little waterfalls in front of me. It's like a fairy tale scene. It's absolutely stunning, absolutely beautiful. But the problem I've got is I can't see anything anymore. So I'm just going to zoom in on that tree again. I've taken a couple of shots back this way because of the mist that's come through, and I'll share that with you as well. It's great that the mist there because it's started to diffuse the sun, which helps my filters. However, it's just new challenges. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of more shots in this area while this heavy mist has now come on the loch, because I can't imagine it'll last very long, it'll clear. And then what I'll do is I'll take some more images here, I'll share those images with you, and then what I'll do is I'll walk up past the loch and we'll see if there are other compositions for us. Okay, as I'm walking round, I'm just looking back to the composition in front of me, and there's this old gate. So what I want to do is, it looks like a rainbow, but it's not quite a rainbow, it's just, I think it's just a ring that we're getting through the sky, but it's actually quite nice. I'm just trying to see, this would probably make a better portrait composition because I'm trying to get, let's see, just want to make sure I'm out of the shadows, just get this fixed. So the reason I'm doing it this way is because when I'm shooting landscape, and the composition is that because you can see that kind of arc from the mist, I want to get the line of the path sweeping right, the arcs going right, but the problem we have in that landscape is there's too much space on the left hand side. So now what I've done is I've turned it round portrait, and I've used the path as a leading line, and as you go around the curve, so does the curve of the mist. So what I'll need to do now is just darken down that composition. So if I speed up my shutter speed to a 30th of a second, I'll focus in, and hopefully we'll get a misty ring at the end of the path. In fact, I can see two rings. I'm just wondering if it's turning into a rainbow. Let me just check. I'm just going to speed up my shutter speed a wee bit more. No, it's not. So I'm just adjusting my polarizer because I've had to put my hand up because the sun's behind me and I can't see the screen. So if I focus into the centre of the screen, I'll take that shot. That could be quite a nice different image. Right, so I've come back down to the loch. However, what I'm starting to see is all the mist and the haar for down in Loch Rannoch is starting to creep up. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple of shots here, and yeah, it's a nice shot. It's not, what we don't have anymore is the atmosphere that we did this morning. So what I'll do is I'll just take another shot, because what I do like is the reflections. Oh, and look, the mist is coming all the way right around us just now. So it's just ruined my shot for those wee trees. And I think this hair could be quite strong and we won't be able to see very much soon. So what I'll do then is I'll pack up and then I'll walk back round. I'm just filming this so you can see how fast this mist is coming in. It's really quick. So you would hope that by the time it gets up here, it'll burn off quite quickly with the heat of the sun. But who knows? Right, I'm going to keep walking. As I'm walking back, guess what? I spotted this clear, still water straight in front of me with the reeds. And honestly, it's absolutely stunning. So I've set the polarizer so I've got no sheen on the water in front of me. I've got the green reeds in front of me and then I've got the peaky Schiehallion. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to turn the camera around and I'm going to lower the camera to see if I can get a different viewpoint from a lower elevation and try and get closer to the water if I possibly can and get lower down, because the mist is coming in really strong. And this is actually helping my backdrop. I don't need to change the polarizer and I don't need to change my polarizer position at all because it's the same rotation. So the other thing I spotted was there's a tree over there that's in the reeds that looks quite misty. So what I'll try and do is get a shot of that tree in the mist, but facing the sun. So I don't know how this is going to turn out. I'll try it. I'll need to watch. There's a sunspot in front of me which is a reflection of the sun, and I'll need to try it and I'll need to be careful. I zoom past the sunspot. Now I've got the tree on the left hand side, but my image is way overexposed and I am shooting into the sun. So if I speed up my shutter speed, oh wow. So if I speed up the shutter speed, that becomes, oh, absolutely stunning. Oh, that is incredible. Oh wow, right, so that would make it, so I can crop this as a pano and that would be really nice because this is as far as this. Oh, it's not. So if I zoom in a wee bit more, what I want to do is try and get the two trees in just now in this composition with a wee bit of the mountain top in view. Now if I turn the camera around, zoom right in and then level off my camera, now what I've got is that tree in the top left hand third. I've got a 40th of a second f14 ISO 100. I'm just about to darken it, so I'll speed it up a bit. I'm still overexposed. So I've got a 60th of a second. Oh wow. I do have in front of me all these reeds. So I can turn the camera around and see if I can shoot into the reeds to see if we can get a kind of creative soft shot. Alright, so I've turned the camera around and I'm facing the reeds. So I've had to increase my exposure just a piece to a 50th of a second f14 ISO 100. Focus in on the reed. So these reeds are kind of common reed and their official name is Phragmite, and the Phragmite are common all around the world, but these reeds centuries ago were used, when they dried out these reeds could be used for thatching roofs. So the other thing about Phragmites is if you leave these reeds untouched and unmanaged, this eventually would turn into a woodland. So it's really interesting the information that you can get around these reeds and various things within the loch, the fish in the loch. So the other thing about this loch, because this loch has a kind of dammed wall, officially this loch is in Scotland is called a stank. S-T-A-N-K, and it's called a stank because it traps fish, and the reason this loch traps fish is because of that little damn wall with a small outlet in front of it. So there you are. Hopefully might be of interest, but it might not. You never know, it might come up in the Trivial Pursuit question at some point in the future. So I'm going to take one more shot and then that tree's come back in to a wee bit of focus again. So I'm going to take a shot of that tree Right, that's me finished here. The mist is definitely coming in. If I don't see any shots here, then I'll walk back to the van. Alright, so I'm back at the dam again, and I've taken a few shots looking up to Schiehallion with the reflection in the loch. There's a couple of trees on the left hand side, so I've taken shots of the trees. There's reflections of the trees on the other side of the loch, and I've taken shots there. So if these shots work out, I'll share them with you now. Alright, well, I think we'll end the video here. I'm going to be beat by the light. All the atmospheric shots that we took earlier this morning at sunrise and just after hopefully have worked out. So hopefully we can make a video out of this. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please do, because you know it's free. And if you press the bell notification, that'll let you know the next time I post a video. So thanks very much for watching, and here's to the next video.